Welcome to the Helichrysum Alchemy podcast, the show where we explore the transformative powers of essential oils and their incredible ability to heal, inspire, and elevate your life. I'm Susie, a spiritual guide, teacher, and seeker, here to help you deepen your connection with yourself, Mother Earth, and the vast energies of the universe. I'm joined each week by my wonderful co-host, Sally-Ann Fisher. Sally-Ann is a healer and seeker who shares my passion for blending ancient practices with modern spirituality. Together, we'll guide you through the magical and healing properties of essential oils, uncovering how they can support your personal and spiritual growth, emotional well-being, and connection to the sacred. We'll weave these natural gifts into spiritual practices like tarot, the Akashic Records, and the cycles of the moon, helping you align with your higher self and live a life of intention and purpose. In today's fast-paced and often disconnected world, it's more important than ever to ground ourselves in the nurturing power of the earth and embrace the wisdom of the cosmos. This podcast is your sacred space to explore, learn, and transform. One drop of oil, one card, and one lunar phase at a time. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Helichrysum Alchemy podcast. As always, I am joined by the beautiful Sally-Ann Fisher. Hi Sally-Ann, how are you?
Hi Susie, really good today. Thank you. Very excited for this episode.
Absolutely, me too. So, as always, I went into the Akashic Records to find what we need to know. So, a nice Akashic message for us to help us to perhaps understand what's going on energetically right now, but also how we can move ourselves forwards and how we can untrap or unblock ourselves. So as I went into the Akashic Records, I felt all this alchemy and magic, and it was really, really beautiful. There was energy flying everywhere, and I felt so comfortable and so at home. Like magic was all around me. And I feel that this week's message is all about the magic that lies within you, the magic of the universe, and using that magic to alchemize or transform what's going on in your life. We're definitely being guided to alchemize, to transmute, to transform our lives. Like we're here to be great. We are here to live abundant, prosperous, purposeful lives. And the magic and the energy of the Akashic Records really helped me to feel comfortable and at home in this energy. We're really being guided to connect in with our purpose, our passions, our the way our soul wants to express itself, our soul truth, to help us to lead this amazing, magical life. We just need to transform the things that aren't in alignment with what our soul is here to do, here to experience, here to learn, and how our soul really wants to express itself. And when I'm talking about soul expression, this is about how your soul wants to show up in its authenticity, right? We've come here for a reason. We've come here for a purpose. And for those of you listening on the podcast, we're here to be of service, right? We're here to share our gifts with the world. And our soul wants to express itself authentically so that we can connect to the right people, the right energies, the right situations, circumstances, communities, and all of the things. So really expressing ourselves authentically is really, really powerful. When we don't express ourselves authentically, we get caught in drama and things that aren't in alignment with us. And I really feel that this energy and this magic is talking about letting go of the things that are holding us back from stepping into our true authenticity. But it's also a reminder that we are magical, that we are multidimensional, right? That we've had past lives, that we have future lives, that we have parallel lives. And this lifetime is just one example of those. So the message today is very much about stepping into your inner magic, right? And the magic that lies within you, but also connecting to the magic of the universe to help propel you forwards, to help you to create that magical life, however that looks for you, right? We all see success differently, we all see abundance differently. So this is about how that magical life looks for you, what you want to do, have, be, experience, and all of the things. So we're in Pisces at the moment, and Pisces is very much about um, dreaming our dream lives into reality, right? Bringing those dreams into reality. So this is all very aligned with the energy that is going on. And at the point of this recording, we're very close to the full lunar eclipse in Virgo. So the energy is absolutely crazy. It's a magical time, right? Pisces is magical in itself. And then as we go into the full moon in Virgo, we've got this energy of transformation, right? We've got this energy of healing. And to be able to step into the magic of ourselves, we need to heal the things that are holding us back. Okay, so I'm just checking my notes, um, just to make sure I haven't missed anything. So yeah, it's time to fully step into your power, right? Your power of magic. We are all magical beings. We have the power. Maybe it's time to step into our sovereignty as well, right? Our magical sovereignty, our power, and alchemize the things that aren't working. You're also being asked to see the magical being you are and alchemize your life. So, how does that resonate with you, Sally Ann?
Okay, well, I do think that pain and challenges and past wounds are not barriers in life, but they're like portals, they're like gateways for further spiritual progression.
Mm.
And I've just thought of an idea that may relate to this. And it relates to my daughter Peony when she was a little tiny, teeny baby when she was born. I really struggled to breastfeed her. And I went to a special clinic, and you're like, how does this relate? Well, when you actually bring a baby up to the breast for feeding, three areas of the brain light up for sort of like rooting, suckling, and like drinking. But if you and I struggled, so they laid me on my back, a special team, they put Penny on my chest, and they said, we're going to let her crawl to your boob. And I was like, she can't. She's like weeks old. And they went, she can. And she got really frustrated. She got really grizzly. She was like, she got really angry. And I was like, let me cuddle her. And they were like, no, no, no. And 52 areas of the brain light up when a baby gets to that frustrated point. And she did. She was moving, she wriggled, she managed to move her head from side to side. She managed to get herself there. And they said now that those 52 areas of the brain that are switched on, they will never disappear and they will help her to breastfeed. And from then onwards, she could breastfeed absolutely incredibly well. And I've never forgotten that. The pain and the aggression and the frustration that she felt that she had to go through opened up a whole world, and her development of those areas of the brain obviously are already then switched on and learning right from that early age. And I do feel that that was a good example for what you've just said.
Absolutely. I think that if our lives were always really positive and everything went our way, life would become boring, right? Because we wouldn't be challenging ourselves to make things better. We wouldn't be healing anything. We wouldn't be learning anything. We wouldn't be growing and expanding. So these things are really, really important. They're an important part of our journey. And it's through our own magic, whether that be determination to get to the milk, whether that be the determination to create an amazing lifestyle, we have to tap in to what our soul wants. And in Peony's um in Peony's experience, she wanted milk, right? That was her main desire. That's what her soul wanted. So she connected into her inner magic of determination, of courage as well, and strength
And perseverance.
and perseverance, yeah, to
Yeah.
to get through. And we do have to do that in life. That's really important. If we didn't, we would be very bored.
Yes. Yeah.
right? And maybe there's something that's just dropped in, and maybe that's why Atlantis fell because they didn't have to struggle. They didn't have to do all of those things. So they started to get bored, and that's when all the disruption and all of those things came in, and that sunk Atlantis. So
Yeah.
maybe that's an example.
Well, I've just had an idea as well. So I always feel that um, life, if you're comfortable, you don't make any change. If it's a slightly uncomfortable, you live with it. You try to get around it. But I think sometimes the universe makes something so uncomfortable that it forces us to move and to do something different. And a lot of my friends that have had these big um spiritual upgrades and a big change in life that was so positive for them, it was from a place of feeling very uncomfortable and
Hmm.
feeling some sort of pain and frustration that moved them in that direction. And so it's a very powerful, we should embrace it. We should
We
embrace these
should,
things
yeah.
when we're in that position where we're feeling powerless or painful or frustrated. We should ask ourselves, in this moment, what am I grateful for? And that really does free up the mind to start to think, what am I grateful for? What is the gratitude point from this pain that I'm currently suffering? And that can help us choose our
Mm.
new direction.
Absolutely. And if you think about that in terms of tarot, that's the tower card, right? Where
Ah,
the things
yeah.
that aren't in alignment with you come crashing down, right? Like the universe gives us so many opportunities to make changes. It gives us so many opportunities to let go of the things that aren't in alignment with us. And eventually it gets fed up and the tower comes in, right? And we
I'll laugh
have
my head off, Susie, if the tower comes out
I
today.
know, that would be funny. Um, and that's when we have no alternative but to make the change and make the shift, right? But it will be a lot less painful if we did it by ourselves rather than the universe saying, well, right, okay, you haven't listened. It's all come crashing down, right? So, well, let's see what the tarot card is. So,
See,
let me just, some of these are upside down because I did a reading earlier. So let me just get them up the right way. Okay.
I've got mine here so I can look it up.
Okay, so let's have a look. What
Oh
card do we have today to help us with the Akashic? Oh,
gosh, I saw it fling.
yeah, that's a few too many. That's more me being clumsy than a card coming out. Let's do that again. Okay, so what card do we have to align to the Akashic message? So we have the Two of Cups, but Three of Cups, sorry, but also one fell on the floor as well as they do. So we have the Nine of Cups as well. So, cups, very much about our emotions. So, what I feel our tarot cards are telling us today is the Three of Cups is all about socializing. It's all about fun, adventure, feeling free, freeing the spirit, right? And the Nine of Cups is all about, enough is enough, right? I'm walking away from this now. So, this is perfectly in alignment, right? It's time to walk away from the things that are no longer in alignment. This is Pisces here, by the way.
Yeah, and isn't he like transforming as he comes out the water?
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
He is. So he's letting go of those things. And Pisces energy is a great time to do this. And with the Virgo energy of transformation and healing, it is a perfect time. Now, interestingly, I'm Pisces with Virgo moon. So I'm always opposing myself. Which can be quite difficult at times because like obviously it's the dead opposite, right? So you've got this Pisces energy of enough is enough. I'm not putting up with this nonsense anymore. I'm going to move myself forwards because I want abundance. I want fun. I want freedom. I want a social life. I want um emotional connections with people. But also like if you can see on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, this card, she's dancing, she's free, she's like really emotionally connected to her intuition, to movement, to creativity, right? So in order to get this, we've got to let go of this, right? We've got to move forwards from the things that aren't serving us, from the things that are holding us back and holding us, um, maybe holding us prisoner, right? That's what just dropped in, is that we're being held prisoner to our own beliefs, limiting beliefs and fears and self-sabotaging behaviors and all of the things, right? And we want to free ourselves from that. So how does that resonate with you, Sally Ann?
Yeah, it totally does. I think it's a really fabulous topic to discuss this week, Susie. Shall we go on to look at an essential oil that's going to help us with this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I'll go first this week then. So I think we should look at Helichrysum, which
Mhm.
is known physically as the oil of pain, but also it is the oil of spiritual alchemy. So I think it's probably quite a good one for this week. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's a fantastic oil to look at. Its energy is one of the really high vibrational energies, right?
Yes, it's got a very high vibrational energy. Its little yellow flowers are often known as the immortal flowers or the
Mm.
everlasting flowers. It has a very high vibration and it's really good for healing and transformation. So that makes it about perfect. And Helichrysum invites us to release suffering and embrace transformation. And it helps us to heighten our awareness of our potential spiritual progression. And it helps us with past life, um, understanding potentially our past life, having insights into that. And through the healing that we gain that spiritual awareness and that spiritual progression. So I think Helichrysum, from a spiritual point of view, is a fabulous oil to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps us to clear past life trauma that is still affecting us. So, um, oaths, vows, contracts, and agreements, and all of those things that we've made in past lives can still affect us in this life, plus trauma we've experienced. So, if we were a witch burnt at a stake, we can still hold that energy in our bodies, in our auric field, so it can help to clear that past life trauma. It's amazing for working in the Akashic Records as well because um, it deepens our connection to the divine, the universe, however you want to look at it, whoever you work with. Um, Wounds from the past as well. So it is such an amazing um oil. It also strengthens our auric field as well. So sometimes we allow people to walk through our auric field, right? So have you ever walked through town and you're feeling fine and you're feeling happy and all of a sudden you feel completely drained and you don't know why?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
Well, I get that when I guess I normally feel that when I get home. I think that's for a different reason. Because I think when you get home, you've maybe it's the other end of what you're explaining. I don't notice it so much when I'm out and about. When I get home, I feel like your body knows what your energy levels is normal for you when you're at home. And if you've been out and about and your energy is drained, you've had a difficult day, or you've had a bad interaction with somebody, or your frequency and energy is lower, and you're walking through the home, and that's where you kind of go, oh, what an amazing event that was. I feel great because you've assessed that your energy and frequency is vibrating at a higher level than is average for you in your home. But if
Mm.
you come into the home and you're like, oh, I just feel drained and tired, it's because you've made this assessment that your energy is lower than average. And you don't, I get that feeling when I get home. That's how I know where I'm at.
Yeah, so what happens is if we don't know where our aura is, well, if we don't keep our aura close to us, right, people are literally walking through your aura, right? And then you're energetically picking up what that person's feeling because you're in their energy, right? So this will help to strengthen the auric field and it will help like give a protective shield so that no one takes your energy, but most importantly, you're not taking or you're not connected to their energy, whether it be negative or, I mean, people can hold so many things in their auric field, right? You could allow someone to walk through your aura that's under psychic attack, for example. And that explains why sometimes our energy just feels like so deflated. It's because someone's been into our auric field and they've drained us emotionally, mentally, whatever it may be. So Helichrysum is great for protecting your aura as well. So if you're going somewhere with lots and lots of people, make sure you suck in your aura and you use Helichrysum as a protection to
Amazing.
help you.
It's even more magical than I thought, Susie.
Yeah, it really is a magical oil. So, do you want to talk about some of the emotional benefits?
Yes, I do. And I always like to check in my favorite book, and this is the Essential Emotions book. And I've just looked up Helichrysum, and it gives you lots of information. But I love looking at the positive properties. And it says here, healing,
Hmm.
courageous, hopeful, transforming, persevering, and determined. So I think we've hit the nail on the head with the oil from what we've already been talking about for that.
Definitely.
And it says that if individuals can persevere, this oil can take them into new heights of spiritual consciousness. Helichrysum offers hope that their emotional wounds can be healed, and I think that's beautiful. But it's not just what we can do with the oil emotionally. And obviously, to get the benefit of an oil, you just need to breathe it through your nose. You can either put it on your wrists and smell. I like to put some oils on my wrist because some oils are very beneficial if they get into your bloodstream. And
Mm.
then other oils where it's not so important, I can put them on my hand and breathe like this. But helichrysum is really good for scars. It's good for bruises. It's good
Mm.
for bumps. It's really good for anything to do with the blood. And I do have a little interesting story that I might share with you. Well, it's not a story actually, Susie. It's
Yeah.
opinion. Okay,
Okay.
it's my opinion. So, everybody knows the beautiful story of the three wise kings bringing three gifts to the Christ child. Okay, and we know that those three gifts are gold, frankincense, and myrrh. It's a story that's been passed on down and down and down the ages. But some of our definitions might have changed over the years. We know that frankincense is a beautiful essential oil, and we know that myrrh is another incredible oil. And when you look at what the healing properties of frankincense are, and you know what the healing properties of myrrh is, then the missing property, if you were to draw a triangle, the missing properties are filled in by Helichrysum. And Helichrysum roughly translates as golden Christ and was commonly referred to as gold. And it's my opinion that the story of the three wise kings and the gold wasn't actually gold, the metal, which I don't think would have been so valuable back then, and certainly wouldn't be useful to be given to the mother of a baby, but
Yeah.
something that works for bleeding, hemorrhaging, um, bruising, pain would certainly be the perfect oil that I would want after giving birth. So I honestly think that helichrysum was what they
Mm.
referred to when they talk about gold. And my husband actually had a really bad accident with when he was out with Headley, and he smashed his head and he got a massive cut on his head and it was bleeding everywhere. And so I got some helichrysum and I put it along this gash and I told him to go and get it seen to at the medical centre and asked if they would try to glue it. And they said, well, we don't normally glue head wounds. We have to stitch them. You'll have to go all the way to Nottingham for that. And he says, yes, but my wife's put something on it that they used to use in World War One to stem the bleeding of wounded soldiers that had lost limbs. Is it weeping? And they said, well, it isn't actually. So he was too scared to tell them she put an essential oil on. He referred it to as something that they used to use in World War One for wounded soldiers. So they said, well, we'll glue it, but if it starts to weep, you'll have to go and get stitches. He never needed stitches. It just worked absolutely fantastic. And another time that I used it was when Headley was really small and I heard him screaming and I came running up the stairs and he got his fingers in the back of the door against the door. And Peony was trying to be helpful. She was trying to open the door, which was crushing his fingers more. And I closed the door to get his fingers out from the back of the door. And there was these massive dints across his fingers, and of course he was tiny, teeny. And I was like, "Oh my God, he's nearly chopped his fingers off." And I know that the most of the damage from a crush injury is the blood flowing in to the damaged area. I literally picked him up like a rugby ball, ran downstairs, got my Helichrysum, put it across his knuckles like this, and I watched his fingers slowly come up like one of those memory sponges coming up. And he
Wow.
didn't get any bruising. And honestly, I honestly believe the Helichrysum saved his fingers from a lot of pain and a lot of swelling I mean, it's an amazing oil. Where you need it to clot, it will clot. Where you need a clot to disperse, it will do that. It works so beautifully inside our bodies. So from a physical point of view, Susie, this oil is absolute magic, and I don't go anywhere for any length of time without it, to be honest. And I've got loads more stories, and I don't think we've got time for any more stories, but it really is, in my book, a really magical oil.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just does so much, just like frankincense. They're high vibrational oils and they have so many benefits that really can help us physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So mind, body, and spirit. This also, Helichrysum also encourages forgiveness, which is really, really powerful. I talk about forgiveness a lot, boosts self-worth as well, and helps us to do shadow work, which I think is really, really important. Okay, so Sally Ann, are there any other benefits, like physical or emotional, for Helichrysum?
Yes, I mean, I do have a friend that lives in my town, and she had really bad tinnitus. It was driving her absolutely mad. And I'd heard that helichrysum was useful. Don't understand the physiological reason why helichrysum works for that, but she used it behind her ears for a short period of time, and it completely went away. And I've heard that from quite a few people. And I think tinnitus is something that really bothers people.
Mm,
Also, varicose veins, anything to do with blood, anything to do with, and maybe that's why. So you would take the oil and you'd literally roll it around the back of the eardrum for something like that. You'd put it on your varicose veins directly. It's very healing for the skin. It smells. I love the smell. When I
I
first
love the
started
smell.
working with it, I was a bit like, well, that's a bit of a strange smell. But now it smells lovely. And I feel that you can use Helichrysum because I believe Helichrysum is truly magic. I totally understand why it was, in my opinion, given to the Christ child. I think you can use Helichrysum for pretty much anything. But I think you instruct the oil, okay, Helichrysum, I would like you to work with my tinnitus, please. Okay, Helichrysum, I'd like you to work on my varicose veins. Okay, Helichrysum, I would like some concentration today. I think it's one of those oils where you can just literally use it and call the energy of it to work for you in whatever
Yeah,
magical way you want.
absolutely. I mean, I just love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh, and for people that are worried about heavy metal toxification, it's a good one for that as well.
Okay, I didn't know
Yes.
that. So
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. So let's talk about the moon phase. Now, I feel every moon phase you can work with Helichrysum, right? So really depending on what you're doing in each of the phases. Okay, so when we're talking about the waxing moon phases, that's where we want things to grow, right? That's where we want to bring in more abundance, more joy, more purpose, all of those things. And when we're letting go is when we want to do the healing side of things. So just after this full moon, we want to be letting go. And Helichrysum is going to help you to release the past life traumas and wounds, to release the emotions that perhaps have built up. So I would use this in any moon phase, right? Because I feel it aligns very
Mhm.
much to the cycles of the moon and what we do at each cycle to help us to move forward. So if you want to know more about the moon phases, then do come and join us in the Herbalicious Alchemy community, where I will post the blogs and all of the things about the oils, the moon, and all of those things. So, do you have some affirmations for us, Sally Ann?
I do. And I think I'm going to give a special instruction for the affirmations today. So
Hmm.
what I want people to say to themselves is not to question themselves as to whether they are magical. I think people need to actually assume that they are magical,
Hmm.
and all they have to do is to choose how they intend to wield their magic power today. So I want people to think about how they're going to intend to use their magic each day. And the affirmations, we can breathe the oil of Helichrysum or another oil, and we can say to ourselves, I am an alchemist of my own life, transforming wounds into wisdom and pain into power.
Wow,
That
love
one.
it.
The golden light of Helichrysum awakens my spiritual gifts and lifts me into higher realms of consciousness.
Amazing.
I trust the process of healing, knowing that every experience refines my soul's journey.
Hmm.
Like the waxing moon, my energy, magic, and potential expand with each passing moment.
Love it.
And I've got one last one if you want.
Yep.
I am a multi-dimensional being effortlessly co-creating my reality with the universe.
Love it. Amazing affirmations for this week. I think at some point we'll have to put all of these amazing affirmations together in a file that you can
Have
download.
to re-listen to all the podcasts and write them down, Susie.
Yeah, I think so. Um, so
Good.
we have created the new community, so we'd love for you to come and join us. It is Herbalicious Alchemy Community on Facebook, where you'll find all the podcasts and all of the things, all the information about oils. You can book calls with either of us to find out more about oils, or myself for Akashic Records, Tarot, and all of those exciting things. We'd love to know how this episode resonates with you. So leave us some comments. Let us know what affirmations worked for you or what affirmations resonated with you, how the reading or the Akashic message resonated with you. And feel free to ask us questions as well, because we're here to support your journey. We're here to support you in any way that we can to move forwards and let go of the things that are keeping you in scarcity, lack, chaos, and all of the things, right? So, with that being said, take a deep breath, center yourself, and connect in to the energy of the universe and the cosmos. And we will be back again next week with one drop of oil, one tarot card, and one lunar phase. We can't wait to see you then. Bye for now.